Hello, how you doing? Welcome to this video where we're going to talk about empathy, how to deal with empathy, and how we can use codes to work with empathy to find a balance, to find an integration, whether we're working with a client or whether we're working for ourselves. And I do have Lana here with me. I'm going to be speaking in English, the English that I speak, and then in light language so you guys get used to. Tete ira ate isha se te kaso kitiki ishtara osokoma ite iki ishna. Ti isete iki ishka ese iki ate ara huasa. Iti ishka seke te ira mate ira asete asha esikui ti ishki ana. What I'm trying to say it is that codes are seeds. This is me and this is my intention, whatever that is, and when I do add a code, it becomes a new creation, and then I change. I no longer be me forever and ever, and then I become something new. So tira ase tiki ishta kote iseki itiki ishkiti isa iki iti ishna simate iki ishkara ase ti iki ishka. What I'm saying it is that we can use codes so we are always changing our intentions, whether you use your imagination or you actually draw them in yourself or in your clients. Codes are frozen consciousness that it's equal to an energy pattern, and this is how I do believe source it is. Source, it was all that it is, and then it tried to split so it could have its own identity, and then it became like this and then like this. It's separated, but that separation create a movement. It was no longer like this. It transformed in a new creation. And we can say that first of all, source needed an idea. I'm gonna try to write an idea. The idea, it is the thought, and then that idea represents the intention from source, from us, from all that it is. And then therefore we have the creation. And that creation, it is the movement of the light. So the light language, light itself, energy, it is light in action. And that action, when it created movement, it created a sound. And that sound, it was something like that when it was in balance, or it was something or crash when it was noise. So sound, that's why many people says that the sound of the universe, it is the Om, because it was the first sound that we can understand that source acknowledged that it could be, and then it was something like and then that sound began to have different variations according to the ideas and the intentions. And probably the first idea, it was like who I am, and then who are you, because it separated itself. So this is how codes in light language were created. Whether light language, it is for sound or to movement or to an idea in some sort of symbology that represents how the energy moves, creating a pattern that will be the representation of the frequency of that intentions. So if we are talking about empathy, I do remember when I learned Reiki the beginning, I did not have a background. I did not have confidence as me as a light worker. Itiki iti asha sete ira te kiara seko ishki anaseki iki te iki asaha ite ki ishtara usoho te imane ite ishki ana ti isate ki ishtira. And for me, it was very scary those sessions at the beginning. First of all, because I did not believe I could heal. And then the first time that someone says, "Oh, my headache is gone," I was, "For real? Is it gone? Is it true? Does it the chakra ray really works?" It didn't make sense before. And then the second, it was I was having all the entity attachments with me because I did not know how to balance the energy. This is why I wanted to explain all that. The first, or one of the biggest fears from empaths, is feeling others. And then sometimes we have a huge rejection to be in contact with toxic people, and then there's a movement like, "I don't consent, I will destroy those contracts, I don't want it to be related with any of that." But sometimes when we broke contracts, each code, let's say that I do have a distorted code and then I do have a balanced code. Maybe this distorted code represents fear, and maybe this one represents, the infinity, right? But when I do not consent myself to get in contact with this fear, I lose access to the information that this code has for me. So probably I will be repeating the same pattern over and over and over and over and over until I figure it out how I can transform it into a balanced code. So codes are information-led programs. They can be like viruses, like COVID, for example. They can be beautiful expressions of language of the light. The difference between a code and a light code, it is the balance, the background of lightness and love that emanates when a code comes from the light, and then a code, it will be just like something that expresses something, right? So how we can deal with empathy. The way that I have found that works out for me, it is be present and allow myself to perceive what the energy is saying to me. I know because I see a lot, some people said to me sometimes, "Titi ashara seteki ashkasa kote iki ishki kianate iki asaka ianete ira aseteki ishkiate asete iki ishna." Some people say, "I don't see like you. You don't have to see like me. We can see through the energy. We can see through what we feel. We don't have to see necessarily, but I'm going to explain that in another video." But when you feel, you have like a key codes about all what's happened, and that can create a code and information, a pattern, and this is what we're going to work for ourselves or for clients. Like, for example, if I have a client who challenged me, because I have had that, not many, but I have had that, I don't reject it because I know that it's something that I have to learn from it. So I try to get feedback from what I feel. Why do I feel triggered? Do I'm afraid that I don't know how to deal with? I don't have patience enough? Do I feel frustrated? Do I feel that they're lying to me? Or whatever that it is that I say like, that I don't like that. And then between my rightness and the wrongness, it is the information for me to transmute that pattern so it doesn't come back to me again and again. So dealing with empathy comes from being present. Comes from a strong foundation of love where we are immune to any fear-based code frequency that maybe represent ourselves feeling shaken. So if you feel sometimes weak about feeling others, other thing that I do, I try to find my neutrality. And sometimes it doesn't come in an easy way because we are, of course, empathic and everything feels so like, I feel so much. So, I take my time. Sometimes I'm not there yet to go into the shadow aspect so I can have access to that information. So I find my neutrality first. And let's say that my mom is triggering me because she does that very often. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I know that it's nothing wrong about her or me. It's just something that needs to be transmuted from whatever interaction we both have. And then I allow myself not to force it, not to try to fix it, but in the other hand, try to be okay with whatever arises, because what I feel is what I feel, and then see what I need to do. And that see what I need to do, that guidance comes from the energy. So if you're working with a client, I had clients with lots of entities and demon entities, things like that. Sometimes I had clients that the entity says, you can clear me, you cannot clear me now because we are still working together, we have an agreement. Sometimes people is not ready yet to heal something and they're going to reject and avoid or ignore. They are not there yet. So why empathy can be as a superhero, as a superpower, because it gives us the information about what needs to be done. More than protection, I think when I am in my heart full of love, that is the best protection that I can have. And then if my guides open a door for entities or things to come to me, it is because it is a lesson, something that I must have to go through, because I do think entities and guides work hand on hand, because at the end it's all about neutrality. I'm not saying that you guys should not protect yourself. If you are used to feel comfortable, go for it, because it is what is working out for you and what gives you the peace. Like for example, I don't want to be vaccinated. I don't think it will help me and I don't think it's for me, but I do understand that there are people very afraid of being sick with COVID, and then the vaccine provides them comfort and protection. It's their permission slip for them not to get sick. For me, my permission sleep so I don't get sick. It is diet, exercise, peace in my heart, things like that. But we are all different and we all have different ways and forms to go through whatever it needs to be done. So when we allow ourselves to laugh, the competition, the judgment, the critique aside, we're able to find neutrality so we can read what needs to be done. If you feel, I had a session a while ago. It was an old lady who was so sensitive. She never allowed herself to have family, husband, couple, kids, nothing, because she couldn't handle people. And then for me it felt sad in a way, because she said, I see everything through a glass because I need to be protected all the time, because I can't allow myself to be hurt by people because I feel so much. But she was in her 70s. So imagine if that person would be able to find a balance within the frequency so she could have a partner and kids, or fun and joy, other than seeing life through a glass, like watching a movie and Netflix. but that is my perception. Always use your intuition to see what works for you. So how we can deal with empathy? We deal with empathy by using this formula. Me plus the code that I need, that normally I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna ask for it. Probably if I'm going to Walmart and then I have anxiety because it is crowded of people that feels in a lower frequency than I am, things like that, probably I can set God, higher self, whoever you trust, universe, download a code to me, or request to download from source, whatever code I need, that will complete the frequency so I am in balance and neutrality. And you can do that in 2 seconds. If you are in a session, you can request whatever codes that person needs. Sometimes we doesn't even need to know what happened, because I had a session once and then the partner was gay. So it was lying to that person for 20 years back. So that person was very wounded because he didn't know the couple was gay, and then he felt like it was a lie for a long time. But then when I tuned into the energy, guide said, look, whatever that person did to the partner in other past lives, it was so distorted that whatever happened in this life, it's even. But they did not share with me whatever happened because it may bring guilt and shame to the client that I was having the session with. So be very aware that every word that you say to your client is going to seed codes from fear, codes from love. So be very patient, respect their space, because sometimes we need time to heal, to integrate something, because we're not there yet, which is fine. But being the present moment, give us the strength, the courage, the bravery to integrate whatever is needed. So whatever unbalance in the energy, it doesn't bother us anymore, and it can be transmuted for the highest good. Empathy is feeling, it is a way that any information from source is going to have a predominant energy signature, a name: fear, love, insecurity, anxiety, peace, sensuality, passion, fun, excitement. That feeling provide that, and then the higher mind, or the mind in our case, reorganize those feelings, those sensations, and then they are sent to source, and then source recreate new realities, new worlds, new things, new paradigms, new expressions for source to keep their evolution, and so do we. And at the same time, that information goes to the Akashic records, to the crystalline time grid. The crystalline time grid, it is the Akashic records of source. I do believe, I have learned that it's most helpful to access the Akashic records of the lives that are pertinent with this one, because too much information, it's like ordering every plate in a menu. Well, I am just going to be able to eat 2 or 3, and then I'm going to be bloated with food, probably having a stomach ache. So don't overload yourself with information. Allow yourself to integrate, to go with your own pacing, because there are many ways to go back to source again. It is like a river. The river will always find the way to find an ocean, whatever ocean. And then if it's a rock, the water, it's not wasting their time trying to move the rock. The water will go sideways, and then it will find its own way, one way or another. So when I was channeling the Hopi Collective, they say that when we, in their prophecy, when it was going to be a time for humanity to be in a very huge transition, that I think is our ascension that we are now, and then the ones that hold themselves to the shore, they were going to suffer because they were going against the current. But where we are flowing with the current, sometimes it's not a comfortable place because the current may be strong or weak or took you in a directions that feel challenging because we're not used to. And many of those things happen when we're empathic. Sometimes we don't want to feel or know that someone has cancer or that may die or they are cheating or they are gay or things like that. Some things you don't want to, so you don't have to be an open channel, because at the same time those people have privacy, and I don't think it's polite to intervene or to know things that they are not for you to know. Like sometimes people say to me, what do you see? What do you see, Gretel? What do you see? But it's not that I have the channel open all the time and that I'm going to be knowing everything. Sometimes I know, sometimes I don't know, which is fine. But whatever I need to know that applies for me is going to be shown to me one way or another. Like, for example, I can smell disease. Sometimes I know when someone has not many years to live, things like that. But I will know whenever it is related to me, but if it's not related to me, I don't need to know. Sometimes when someone asks you to investigate their partners, their husband, their kids, sometimes the spirit will tell you, sometimes you won't have access to that information because in their case that person is not allowed to know. Whether if it's in the light or not to intervene in someone else's affairs, it will be a matter of ethic, and it will be according to your own morals and values and principles if you decide to do it or not. Many times I have said, I can access the information of your ex because that person did not give permission, but it's going to be related to you, what you say to your clients and the way that you said. For example, for example, someone said to me once, oh, bro, you have 3 demons with you. And I was like, I feel like so guilt and shame and insecure because I just did a couple hours ago cleansing meditation with Archangel Michael, and then I said, meditations doesn't work because I just sage myself and how it is that I have 2 demons, and then I felt so badly, so insecure, and then in another time a portal right open and I freaked out because I didn't know what was happening. I started seeing lights, like a kaleidoscopic thing in my eyes. I couldn't see, I felt weak. The whole thing lasted like 30 seconds. Meanwhile, I was asking a friend, can you check on me, please? I don't know what's happening. I was hyperventilating myself. I was having like an anxiety attack because, I don't know, it was something new for me. And then my friend, who was a psychic healer, says that I had lots of entities, that they were putting a chip on me because they wanted to control myself, and then stole my ex from Draco and Grace and reptilians from future so they could do lots of babies of me. And I was like, oh my god, no. I was so scared and freaked out, and then my heart started racing, and then I felt so insecure and unsafe. And then I was asking him, help me, please, 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 because I could not see. And then he was saying to me that he was so tired because he was lots of entities, and then he was fighting with those dark alien things. And then the whole thing, and suddenly I started seeing again, but I felt so drained. We both felt drained because we were engaging in a dark agenda. And then after that, I don't think I could trust anything. It was hard to trust even angels because lots of people said to me lots of things that they could cheap and things. And I was like, how I know you are angel? How do I know how I can trust you? How do I know? It was just hard. And then I remember that the next day, because I did not knew how to discern, and I was asking people to give me the answers instead of tuning into my energy and then asking in spirit, okay, what are you doing? Why are you intervening in my eyes? What's happening to me? Who are you? What I need to do? And most importantly, what I'm learning for this. And then next day, a friend of mine who has channeled Archangel Michael and Pleiadians like 30 years ago, she said, Great old Pleiadians apologized. They were trying to fix your eye so you could see when you trouble, but you got scared and they stepped back. They asked that if you want them to help you, they can come to you anytime as long as you meditate with them, as long as you agree with. Of course, my higher self agreed, but because I was not aware of, I freaked out thinking that I was being attacked when in reality I was not. And then when she said that to me, I felt so stupid and so naive. And then it gave me that I needed to have a more wider perspective about things that happen in the astral and the energy. But if I was not brave enough to go and ask, hey, what's happened? Why are you tingling my arm? What am I shaking? What's happening with me? Then how it is it that I am going to know? Because I was giving my sovereignty away by asking so many other people, what do you see? What do you feel from me? What do you think I should do? And it's all about empathy. It's all about empathy because we're all sensitive people. Thank God, because we can feel, we will know when is going to be good for us and when is not going to be good for us. So we can set boundaries. And because I don't protect myself, it does not mean that I don't take boundaries. I don't protect it because I know Spirit protects me and my guides. And if I have a client that challenged me, it is because there's something that I need to do for myself. Otherwise, I would not manifest that client at all. So instead of resisting and rejecting, I have to find my center, take my time so I can integrate and then learn the lessons so I can move forward into higher challenges. And then I have learned that even though I may not like what is happening around, when I allow myself to breathe, to find my center, it's not that challenging because I don't allow myself to escalate whatever I feel. So it is huge, and then I'm flexible. And then on the other hand, when I allow myself to be empath and to feel, I can be in charge of my own energy, and then I can decide what I need to do, what it is best. And when I don't know what to do, I don't get fixated on finding a solution. I said, okay, higher self, I'm clueless. Whatever you want to say to me, I don't get it. So say it again and again and again until I get it. And if I may not be meant to get it, so be it. Moving forward. Always stay with what is working for you. Always try to find the tools that work for you. You can add codes in yourself. You can add codes in your clients. You can print codes and water in your bed, in your home. I have codes all over my home. You can print your codes from your drawings, whatever. You can speak. If you are in your car and then someone is driving very aggressively that you think, oh my God, that person may cause a crash, you can do quickly light language in your mind, just sending love and then trying to send love so you upgrade whatever program it is happening. You can do codes into Walmart, into your job, with your partner, with your family, before Thanksgiving, and all things that may be challenging, or just for randomness, like for example for Gaia, for all the sick people, for all the animals, the plants, and in a very unlimited way. Just be creative, but try to apply it. The more that you apply it, the more that you will find your own unique way to do things that will work just for you, because it's your own process. And this is what I want to do in these videos. Find your authenticity, find who you are. If you are sensitive, so be it, embrace it, because when we embrace it, the burden it is taken off, and we allow ourselves to find new ways for us just to be ourselves in whatever way. I have dyslexic. That's why sometimes I write backwards, things like that. It just didn't make sense for me. And then that friend who challenged Pleiadians messaged me and said, Gretel, Pleiadian says that if you want to, they can fix your brain, your dyslexia. Dyslexic, I think it's in English. And I said, you know what? Don't fix it, live it, because if I choose it, it is for a reason. So I won't avoid or negate myself go through that challenging experience because I just want to go in the easy way. And sometimes we can go in the easy way, but we can have our own growth and evolution expansion by allowing and be okay with whatever it is. Because challenges are just areas of opportunity for us to put more love, more coats of light on it. I hope this is helpful. Allow yourself to find your own way to work with your own feelings, your own sensitivity. We're going to be being more sensitive and sensitive and sensitive. So allow yourself to integrate. If you feel tired, rest. If you feel with anxiety, like you can deal with people, put yourself in quarantine a little bit until you figure out what needs to be done. But we're in a human planet where we decide to be human, that it is for a reason. Otherwise, we'll be angels or aliens or rocks or whatever. So let's try to be a happy human, a balanced human, a human that it's in charge and acknowledgeable about what needs to be done and one way and how, and that requires practice. It's like a muscle that we need to exercise, and then with time we master ourselves. I am not a Reiki master because I have a degree that I pay for it, that I did online in a weekend. I become a Reiki master when I practice, when I allow myself to learn through my clients, to develop my own healing techniques in the way that I feel comfortable with. That's why people have created Celestial Reiki, Angelic Reiki, Kundalini Reiki, Pranic Reiki, Tantric Reiki, and so many types of Reiki. I didn't want to put Reiki because I think codes is not only for healing, it's for everything, because it is the language of the light, and because we're light workers, it is, for me, it represents the language of New Earth, the language of these new healing techniques that are more efficient, more accurate, and more practical to receive instant healing. So work with your own ways. This is Mrs. Lana Eslemen. Work with your own way. See what is working for you. If you have any question, please contact me at inquirefrequency.com. Send me a message, comment on the video. But allow yourself to read what needs to be done through your own sensitivity and through your own feeling. And that is only possible to do by being in contact with the feeling, so we can know what we feel really. A few months ago, a guy said to me, when you are upset, you're not upset of what you think you're upset. There is a greater reason that upsets you, that it needs to be uncovered. And then being upset, it is just the fire energy that moves everything around, so you notice that it's something that you need to pay attention with. So I hope that it's helpful. Please, please, please allow yourself to find your own ways. From these videos, we're only going to receive what we need that works for us and in the highest good for all of us and in the best way. I'm going to do a little bit light language to align our aura to DC. I'm going to drink a little bit of tea. Remember, what we feel is what we heal. Inete ira ashkate esete iki ishka. Minete yesakote iki ishta. Iteki esahalte iki ikiana. Uamate iki ishka. Ianate ira asete iki ishka. Ni na te iki ishka. Just breathe and see light all over ourselves. Let's practice being present. And present, it doesn't always feel comfortable. Thank you for being here with me. I so appreciate it. I'm very grateful. See you in the next video.